crazy. So anyway, let's keep diving in. Kitsy said I watch a clip. She said nothing bad in it. I disagree. You can fully ignore Bint though. Person's in that case. I mean, I think Bint is not the best person to trust, right? Somebody's saying like, there's somebody that used them as a source. I gotta look into that a little bit later. More digging. Watch a clip to see Kirsch release another great replacement. It's not that hard. What is wrong with you? And of course I said, she says nothing bad in it. It's kind of crazy, right? I agree, Fuzz Dog. And of course I said, like, I'm not allowed to look at things in my own time. Like, I want to do research. Why are you mad about that, right? Do you want to, if the clip is 10 seconds, which it's actually not. It's like a minute and a half, but, or do you want to research a neo-Nazi conspiracy theory, the Great Replacement? Yes, I do. Because I don't know what the fuck that is. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd look it up on stream. I want to dig into Kish more. And find the full clips of the full context, which I did off stream, by the way. So, and I think this person is like pretty fair. But, like, hey, when you willingly overlook evidence, it's assumed that your reaction, everything else, is going to be biased. Which, I mean, it's a fair take. I don't feel that way. I don't know about you, chat. If you feel that way, like, if I overlook something that everything else is biased, there's nuance in that statement. But I think that's a fair statement. So. Of course, they're talking about, like, Anna. I'm not going to dive too much into that. But this is what I said, Chad. I took responsibility. I said, like, yeah, I should own up to it. So anyway, Bint did respond to this. Alara, you felt the need to make extremely vague criticisms of me with no context. Well, that's fair. So I gave you some context there just a second ago, chat. Why unironically saying I'm taking things out of context? I didn't say you took anything out of context. I said that I've seen stuff taken out of context. Many times I've seen out of context stuff. I didn't say you did. I said just in general. After criticizing you for deliberately ignoring context, you haven't earned the right here to add digs before you make an apology. I don't think I made myself clear. Let me make myself clear here. I don't think that your coverage of things is good. And I'm apologizing for the fact that I should have done this. I should have done this. However, I still denounce a lot of the things that you say on stream and do. Or not stream, on Twitter and do. If you don't like Bid, just don't platform the period. You can cover what Kier said without their tweet. Which one? I'm not really diving into the anything Kier's related right now, unless there's something in particular you wanted me to look at. I did want to go back to the article and, look at that. So, and show you that because I owed you that from yesterday, but was there something in particular, Twilight, that you wanted me to cover? No, I mean, I normally don't platform Bint, but the problem was this got to be such a big deal that now I have to talk about it, even though I don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? You must agree that, like, Binted, we should be charitable to Kier Shooter, given the nature of our own coverage and regardless of our own audience. I mean, that's my opinion, Ember. I don't think so. Like I said, I disagree with a lot of the things she said. I disagree with her takes about trans people, and I disagree with some of the things she said about deportation and other things, right? I disagree with that. The issue is like I said, though, Ember, I do not have the political knowledge to go toe-to-toe. I don't have that knowledge. I don't have the dukes to, like, fight it out in a way or have a conversation about it that would be supremely meaningful, right? All I can do is go off my moral compass, and that's it. That's really all I can do. Like, we have to be, you have to remember, like, there's only so much I can do as a person, right? You'll feel qualified to fight that fight. Yeah, that's understandable. Exactly. Thank you. I don't have that knowledge. I don't have that ability. I don't care for politics. I normally don't cover it. I can't fight that fight. I'm not the person. All I can tell you is shout from the rooftops that I don't invite bigotry and hate into my community. I don't like that stuff, trans rights or human rights, and that's it. I feel like if you don't have the knowledge, you shouldn't have covered it. I mean, the whole point of the coverage, Dr. Yagi, was to point out how poorly written and how bad the article was. So, like, you don't really need some kind of political knowledge to cover this article and point out the problems that were in it, because they were much more apparent than just some kind of political arguments, right? And it was just it was poorly written. You know what I mean? Right, and I want to make something very clear, chat. My coverage was not on Kirsch, right? That's not what it was about, because I feel like we're shifting the focus, right? My coverage was about talking about the article. I'm not here to talk about. I mean, yes, Kirsch is associated with it, but I'm not here to dive into all the problems of the things that Kirsch has done. Because again, I can't fight that battle. I really cannot. I'm not educated enough on political topics to go toe to toe and have something actually to say about it. All I can do is look at the moral things that I disagree with, and that's it. You know what I mean? But you don't have to have this giant political knowledge to look at that particular document and look how bad it was, you know? Yeah, like, even if you don't like Kirsch, like, you still have to look at the article and go, holy shit, it was so bad. Like, there was all these loose tie-ins, like, loose allegations of stuff. Like, again, I feel like if you set out to do this thing to go after Kirsch, you did a really, really bad job at it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so anyway, this is kind of where everything was. Actually, you should do the articles about her spending degree replacement theory. If you don't know what that is, then you shouldn't have. Do I need to educate myself on that, Yagi? Sure, absolutely. And I continue to, right? However, I can still look at that article and look at all the problems that are with it, right? My articles are written like average conspiracy theories, so no, I don't. But that's your opinion, right? This is also my channel, right? And I can run it how I want to. I can say, hey, I'm gonna cover stuff with no care in the world, and I don't give a shit. I try not to do that, but I could if I wanted to, right? I could do that. But ultimately, I try not to do that because that's, to me, morally wrong, right? So, it's my show, it's my coverage, right? And I disagree with the fact that you have to have some kind of political, like, education or some kind of political, like, I don't know, like a college education to be able to break down what was wrong with that article. She worked twice in a prison. He's Kirsch. Oh yeah, no. I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of that. Which, again, I'm not gonna go into their thoughts and feelings about Kirsch because they don't like Kirsch, and I can see why. But anyway, let's go look at some of the stuff that was being said, chat, about this particular thing. So I do want to look at a particular streamer that had said some stuff that I felt like was a little out of line, right? A little out of line. So this is a Battle Lucamine remix. I think you should use that. It's a very serious article. And people are mixing your critique of the article as you agreeing with Kirsch, which we know you don't, but a lot of people are seeing that way. The problem is Fox Destiny is because I skipped that one link. People are thinking my opinion is that I agree with Kirsch, which I don't. That's the mix-up, right? So, but again, we jump to a conclusion without researching, right? This isn't saying how would you know that? Are you going to blind because you can? This is what you do. I mean, and again, people have different opinions in it, right? Like in Yagi, I value your opinion, and if you disagree with how I covered it, totally fine. That is your opinion, and you are entitled to it. You know what I mean? Not everybody covers everything the way that we feel is the best, and that is totally okay, chat. That's totally okay. We don't have to, I'll tell you this. There's some stuff that False has said I disagree with. You know what I mean? Like, but the important thing is to look at every situation with nuance, chat. Look at the nuance of this situation. Are they mostly right? Are they mostly wrong? Are they in good faith? Are they in bad faith? You know what I mean? So, the bigger problem is the lack of proper literacy because of critique of an article. Not to disavow the article's topic, but people can't connect. Exactly. Like, it's hard for them to kind of, like, see that, right? I think that's pretty fair. Critique of an article is not a disavowal of the article's topic, but because people can't connect. I mean, again, like, I want to criticize the article in the way it's written, and there are some things in there that are very solid, right? We just looked at some of the things that were here. I just showed them to you. But on the other end of it, I can also criticize the article for being really, really bad at what it did. You know what I mean? Like, and that's nuance. That's true. Yeah, your political compass. That's true. So, anyway, chat. Let me show you some other stuff that was going on here. Maybe present the coverage as something else. Like how vtubers are covers. Is the coverage fair or not? Sure. And I think Twilight, well, like with the Vice stuff, I'm gonna have to treat it a little differently than I do with everything else, you know. And that's just a learning process, you know. I think I'm gonna go line by line, honestly, and just like put a notepad next to it and just be like, yeah, you know, here you go, right? But we stick to the facts, also voicing your opinion, yeah. So anyway, let's continue to take a look here, because I did want to look at some of the other responses, right? And mind, guys, I don't want you to harass Invented. This isn't about this. This is only for me to qualify what I told you and why I don't find their stuff to be trustworthy. Finding it is my first time tuning in live. I'm trying to be the most and I'm not trying to be the most reasonable first time chatter on earth. You see the comment since when Jake that commented more sadly. Well, this is Twitter, so that you're criticizing the merits of the article based on the arguments presented, objective critique on the content and the logic of play. Sure, exactly. So, because again, like the political stuff, there's only so much I can say about it, right? So, let's go kind of look at some of the stuff being said. And I just want to say, Goose, I appreciate this so much. This is such a lost thought process. Maybe Messenger and DMs to get the full story. Bro, thank you so much. This right here would have solved so many problems had Invented actually just DM me. You know what I mean? Because the thing was yesterday, I already said that I disagree with the things that Kirsch has said in a lot of those instances, right? I said that. Had they DM me and asked me that question, I could have sent them a clip. I'm like, yeah, here you go. Can I skip over your article because I think that you're not trustworthy? Yes. Does that disarm my entire argument? No. You know what I mean? Like, so thank you, Goose, for actually bringing that up. I think that's absolutely incredible. So anyway, chat, I'm going to show you some quote retweets of a lot of this stuff. Again, I don't want you to, I'm not showing you this as a thing for, let me make this actually very clear. I'm going to show this to you because I don't want your sympathy, but I want to show you what's going on. And that's it. You know what I mean? Right. A very knee-jerk reaction. And I'm going to show you a little bit of stuff. So I did talk to Saphir a little bit more. He said, I strongly believe they're properly addressed topics. One should always look at all the evidence against faith and then make solid conclusions after reading. Disregarding something immediately just because XYZ posted it. The mature, don't do news if you can't do the bare minimum. I think that's fair. I think it's a completely fair statement. I will not argue against that. And I will do my best with that going forward, chat. I agree. I agree. It's a completely fair take. I should have looked at that. And then maybe dug in and followed up with you guys Sunday. It's a learning lesson, you know? So I'll do better. That's all I can tell you. But you know, I think very highly of Saphira. I've watched her coverage before. I think she does a great job. So her opinion, you know, matters to me. It does. I do find it ironic that you took a clip out of context to attack you while you're complaining. Yeah. Yeah, very much. So, you know, this person's like, I'm going to ignore blatant evidence as like clips and tweets from a woman herself because I don't like the person giving me these direct links. Okay, you know, again, that's fair. Talking about Girish. Is it too far to say the newspapers are just tabloids? Alara was kind of cool first, but the fallout here is just insane, which, again, chat, this is just people taking this one thing out of context and not looking at the research that goes behind it. So, I'm going to skip here a little bit because there is somebody that I wanted to look at that had a few things to say about it. Here we go. So this is Niara. Niara said I had a few things to say about my coverage and stuff like that, but there is something that I want to point out to you. And again, guys, I want to remind you, do not go and harass anybody. You know what I mean, chat? Don't be harassing anybody, none of that. This is just to tell you my thoughts about it and why I disagree very much with the things that they have to say. So let me get a sip of my tea. So I when I got on earlier, the first thing I actually saw when I woke up, which you can see here is 7:34. So when I woke up, Alana was saying like I don't give people attention. It's how they win. There's like a weird concept. I said, hey, I refuse to argue with people over Twitter. It's not worth the energy. I don't feel like that is a lost sentiment in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. You know, like I feel like most people would agree with this, right, chat? I don't like arguing with people on Twitter because it's never like a fruitful conversation, right? It's always like, always in bad faith, so on and so forth, right? So, anyway, you know, Nyara, sorry, I can't say that. Nyara says you literally brushed off Keir saying that the government wants to replace white people with Muslims because you don't like the person who posted the clip. This isn't an argument. You're just empathizing with white supremacists and dismiss valid criticism. Now, guys, to me, this is a absolutely wild association to make for the fact that I skipped over one source and literally said that I don't agree with Kears on a lot of stuff. Like, how do you got and watch stream for 3 minutes? For 3 minutes. This is so quickly dismissed. This is so quickly. This is literally what you did, though. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Where did I endorse Kirsch? Yesterday, though. And by the way, this is a completely safe space for you to share your opinion, so please, by all means, go ahead. Twitter is literally a wizard boy, right? You're saying that, right, I brush it off, right? I didn't brush it off. I addressed everything else, you know what I mean? I addressed everything else. I looked at all the other stuff. I skipped over one link. You did ignore the evidence as presented in the article. That's not true. I looked at everything else besides that one link. At no point in time, outside of that invented link, did I not look over the rest of the evidence. And everybody here that was yesterday, if you can do me a favor, can you confirm that I looked at all the other evidence besides that one link? Saying that I'm empathizing with a white supremacist and dismiss valid criticism is a wild, wild claim. Yeah, I literally just skipped over Vince. I looked at everything else. And again, I already have accepted the fact that I should have looked at Invented's clip. I will action that feedback. And you can beat me up about it a million times, and I will say I deserve it. I do. The claim requires evidence of special intent, right? I'm not empathizing with Kirsch in the least bit at all. In fact, yesterday, I denounced a lot of those things, right? Right, it's like everybody saw like one clip, right? So I said, did you watch the entire segment when I covered everything? My question was very particular, right? I wanted to know if they watched my coverage because I feel like if they did watch my coverage, they missed a lot, right? You know what I mean? While talking, create another perspective at face value. And to be fair, Pornhub, I wasn't very familiar with this other person. If anything, I was just using it as an opening to the article in itself. So don't, on the reverse side of that, don't take that too much at face value. Because again, I don't really know much about that person. It was more of a segue, right? So skip it a clip because you'd rather go find it outside that person's tweet. Because that person is known to be problematic, does not equal endorsement or defending someone. Exactly. So anyway, do I need to? Yes, you got to. You gotta go check it out. And maybe I'll send it to them later if they're willing to talk. You criticizing this character more than actually talking about the criticism. That's untrue. I did talk about Ada's character based on their article. So I did qualify a lot of my argument against them by their work in the past. Downplaying white supremacy because a person you don't like posted a clip is not going to make you look good. I'm not downplaying it. There's nothing downplaying it here. So of course I replied. I said, hey, absolutely you do. Are you implying I wasn't critical of Kirsten's stuff during my stream? Pretty sorry. I said, yeah, I don't agree with that. Oh, looking at some of the links provided. Just because of her, I skipped one link from someone I find unreliable does not dictate my opinion. And I feel like this is the biggest line right here, chat. This is the biggest line right here. Just because I skipped over one link does not mean that dictates my entire opinion. And this is the narrative that is kind of being shared around. Oh, you skipped this link so you believe in it. That is such a very narrow-minded way to view anything, chat. Why would you even consider that? Like, I don't know why, but in my brain, when something happens, right, and I see something, the first thing I do, in my brain, I go, okay, I gotta research this. You know what I mean? What's up, Rakshi? All right, let me back up. I think I saw something. I believe in Iris' intentions are good. I think her problem is she jumps to wild conclusions without knowing the person knows. Very bad take. Yeah, and look, I want to make this clear. I don't hold it against her. Because, actually, I don't know their pronouns. I'm so sorry. Hershey. So, I do not know her, her personally. And honestly, I'm be real, I don't hold this against her because all they probably looked at was invented stuff and probably thought that I believed all this stuff. This happens all the time, chat. So many people do this. If you go to invented stuff and scroll down, so many people do this, chat. This happens all the time. People look at one thing and it's immediately the truth. And I want you all to challenge that way of thinking. If you see something, look into it, find out more stuff, right? But I do have to point this out. That this is entirely untrue. I'm not empathizing with a white supremacist or trying to dismiss any valid criticism. I think you're reading into it far too much. Far, far too much. That's like missed one video from a content creator, and I apparently hate them for that. I mean, that's a very loose simile, but sure. But again, this is what I want the video to take away line, guys. Just because I skipped over one link from somebody I find unreliable, that doesn't dictate my entire opinion. There's so much more nuance, chat. There's so much more nuance. Like, for instance, like, somebody told me that Kitsu, right, but somebody told me that Kitsu believes in the Great Replacement theory. Do I take that at face value? I'm gonna go talk to Kitsu and have a conversation about it because I don't know what they believe in, like, but we have to do our due diligence. We have to look into stuff. Don't jump to wild accusations until you know. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again. If you don't know 100% in your heart of hearts, in your mind, you can't go after somebody. You can't do it. You cannot go after somebody unless you know 100%. Due diligence is critical and almost somebody want to do it. I mean, in my tuxedo, like, it's almost like the way I like to imagine due diligence is it's almost like the little game in Squid Game. You know, the one where they walk on the glass tiles to get across the room? There are plenty of actual real news agencies that have ignored far bigger, more reliable sources. You know that, right? The little glass thing, right? It's almost like that, due diligence, right? Because when you try to do your best or your due diligence, unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't work out the best, right? It might be you try to do your best and one of the tiles is broken, or the story changes immediately and then all your information is outdated. I think people need to realize a lot about newstubers is it's constantly changing all the time. Constantly, right? So, I want to make this clear again, guys. I don't think poorly of, Naira. I really don't. Like, I think they got caught up in something that they took as truth when you could have just looked at the stream for a few seconds and easily been disproven, right? And I try my best to research. I do. And do I fall short? I do. Every once in a while, I do. It happens. And again, this is a situation where I should have clicked on the clip. and I will take that feedback. I'll take the criticism, you know, beat me up about it. I'm accepting of it. But I surely explain my mindset about people's, as I can't expect a decent ethics and morals from people will most likely leave you disappointed. Sure, exactly. But the whole point being here today, chat, is information presented is what we know and understood at the time. A reporting does not represent the totality of the situation after the fact. Exactly. So I think that my most important thing that I want to say about this situation, personally, I appreciate you putting that for that. You do, and they really, really work hard and even open to Chris. I'm improving. I'm right. I thank you. It's 12 minutes ago. Lied a bit. Naira making a comment mocking Laura, saying I'm getting attacked for. I mean, whatever, right, Demon? I'm not here to go after them. You know what I mean? Like, if they want to mock me, that's fine, right? I think it's very easy to disprove their argument, but I really wish that there had been a conversation, right? Or a little bit of due diligence, right? So, as I said, I feel like if there's an actual link on their Twitter, or their tweet rather than an embedded video, you would have clicked and looked into it. Yeah, I mean, like, I agree with that. I'll be honest, Walk. So, I'll walk you through exactly how Walk. I'll tell you what I did when I clicked on the link. I saw it was invented. I'm like, nah, bro. You know, but that's me. That's my emotional stuff. I need to put that aside, right? That's my personal feelings. If we're going to argue with an intelligent person, it's impossible to argue with a crazy, stupid person. But again, guys, I want to make it clear. Do not go after any of these people that we're talking about. But this narrative has been spun in a really, really wild, wild way. Saying I'm some sympathizer for Kirsch and all this stuff. And that's just flat out fucking untrue. Like, even looking yesterday, there's multiple times. There's multiple times, you know, and I have to say, guys, like, I needed to sit on all that information yesterday, right? Because I'm not familiar with Kirsch. I'm not familiar with her content, you know? So, like, it was a lot for me to, you know, poke at me, right? Like, I didn't know. It was a lot to put in my lap. And I chose to do that. So, you know, to your one mistake, most people would have ignored the situation, just double down with their egos, right? I mean, I'll be real. I don't think I could double down on something where I feel like I have opportunity. I don't think you messed up, but I know you don't agree with what Kier said. I did feel like it was weird to critique an article talking about a serious fear that harms a lot of people. This is me, hopefully not me. No, not at all. I appreciate your feedback. I've been checking you out, and I have agreements and disagreements. I've joined halfway, selecting your response to criticism that argues you disproportionately criticize Anna Vice Writer over Kirsch. I saw 1 2 reply saying that. Okay, so let me check this out again. I joined halfway, selecting your response to the criticism that argues disproportionately criticize Anna over Kirsch. Let me copy this so I can read it in front of my face and not forget what I want to say about it. So, my goal yesterday was to criticize the article. That was my intention, right? And going through it and looking at it, right? I do stand beside the fact that the article was very poorly written. Ada also did a very poor job with the other article that they wrote, and especially how they dealt with it in my chat. So I'm not a believer in just about Anna, what Anna has to say, right?
You're always working
Thanks,
hard
Drew.
to
I
improve
appreciate
yourself
you.
and your content, and always take criticism with grace and poise, and always as constructive.
I'll be trying.
There's always gonna be people out there waiting to see you fall, but many
always,
more
of
will
course.
be with you when
Of
you
course.
rise. Keep your head up, Queen.
I appreciate it. No, you're good, Silent. So, when I looked at the Kier stuff, right, I think everybody is trying to, like, how can you write an article poorly if it's quoting Kish verbatim? It's not. That's the problem, Dolkey. Let me come back to that question, because I'll point out some of the issues with the article. Fuck, I didn't mean to type that, damn it. I put that for myself, so, let me repost this. Okay, just so I can look at all actually, you know what? Fuck that. Let me bring up a notepad. Why am I being stupid? Okay. Okay. So disproportional. So I'm explaining to you what I thought about Anna, right? Based on her coverage from her stuff before. The article in itself had some very loose like allegations of stuff, no proof with some things. There were some, but there were also a lot of not proofs in there, which I'll go back and show you guys. To be honest, I've never really interacted with Kirsch's content. I've seen a few clips. They were more like kind of like funny stuff. I've never really interacted with this stuff. So looking at the stuff yesterday, if you were in my stream yesterday, there were several times where I'm like, yikes, like I don't agree with that. Stuff like that, right? So I don't feel like it was a disproportionally criticizing in any way, right? It was more the fact that I criticized Ina about their document, right? And their coverage of stuff. But I needed to do a little bit more research on Kirsch, like I did last night and today. How much should you proof would you change your mind? Depends on what it is, but sure. How can you write an article poorly if you're just quoting a Kirsch verbatim? So let me show you what. We show the problems with the article, not that one. Okay. So number one. Well, some VTubers may. Number one. I'm sorry. Let me back up. With many VTubers fans who the parasocial behavior of one particular creator with a company. Many VTuber fans who, where, what. You know what I mean? And how can you properly judge that? Judge what? Only because I've ever seen a complaining about it, so screaming about a game. So, who, what, where, when, why? You know what I mean? Like, on top of that as well, down here, they go on to say, he praised Mythic Talent Coder, Asmongold for arguing. And then they go on to say, Gamergate subreddit, citing subreddits as some kind of proof. On top of that, it continues here. She's all right, ain't you well, gonna barely transform a degree. One Redditor said, this is somebody's opinion, you know what I mean? The point was criticizing the article itself and its credibility, right? Exactly. That's literally what it is. I'm trying to criticize the fucking, like, thing, and people are like, oh, well, you can't do that. I'm like, no, I definitely can do that. On top of that, there's one more that was, so there was a person that left the, Gamer Subs, right? It was this person, right? However, they didn't particularly say why. Kaio did not name Kirsch directly. He pointed his concern about this, so on and so forth. Why did you include this? Why was this included? You know what I mean? This literally has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So I think there's some parts that can be criticized. Now, I will say, looking through a lot of these links like we did yesterday, a lot of these tweets that Kirsch put out, as I said yesterday, are yikes. Not okay. Especially the one where she quote retweeted Asmongold. Very much disagree with that. This fluctuates as info comes in. As you can have to remain unbiased as much as you can, share. I kind of think it'd be easily inferred because what else are we referring to? That's the thing, Amber. I don't know. But why would I immediately infer that it is them? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna get an article that's supposed to like give me a bunch of proof and stuff like that, that's what I expect. I expect solid proof, right? And this is just like, it's a loose like association. I mean, sure, you can draw that, you can infer that, but how do you know? But to go into reading of those sounds less like criticizing Gamer Subs, more like criticizing towards Kirsch, which in my opinion she should be scrutinized, but there were solid concrete proof the Gamer Subs is supporting this. I don't know. I will go back and say that if there's an issue with a creator, right? I think that you need to be bringing that up to your Gamer Subs rep. You need to be talking to them, right, chat? And have that conversation because we don't know how Gamer Subs feels, right? We have to give them the benefit of the doubt. We don't know if they know what's going on with Kirsch. They don't know these types of things, right? So we have to see. I think assumption is about her from the time since you finished the sales drive, sure. And I mean, Scholar, is that fair? Sure, but what I'm saying is, I'm looking at an article for solid proof. You know what I mean? This literally means nothing. Like if you were saying, give me proof, this ain't proof. Unless he says straight up, then that's fine. Then we can have a separate conversation. But as of now, where this stands, it's not solid proof. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just like, it's an assumption. When I read something like this, like, I'm waiting for the concrete facts, you know what I mean? It's just, the article just, as much as there are some things in it that do have some weight to it, there's a lot of things that don't have weight to it. And why would you, as a person that's writing an article that is trying to prove this point, right? Why would you not try to make sure that all of your points are like, feel like shot? You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure that it's like, it's got to be like 100%, you know? That's my opinion. You know, I have no idea of that, Coltrane. I have no idea. What do you consider problematic is the real question, right? Different political beliefs. Like, do you, what do you think is that, right? Violence is written about in mainstream press for their degenerate behavior and points of views. I'm not side with them. I mean, again, I very much criticize Anna for the things that they've done in the past, the way they treated the situation, and of course this document. There's just a lot of it that's just bad. That's it. There are a lot of other critics who are gamers sub partners who made edgy content jokes before it's given a look for the bigotry they're referring to as actual real bigotry, or is they taking a joke out of context and overblowing it. Sure. What's up, Tim? How are you? I don't know, but if I happen around the time of the Kirsch kicking up, not even gonna avoid drama, I get it. I mean, sure, I get it, but give me the truth. You know what I mean? Give me the truth. That's what I'm out here for. So, you know, I don't know if that's the case. I don't want to assume that, Keiko. I don't want to assume the worst in anybody. You know what I mean? But her points are points. They were an opinion, right? Well, some of it was, right? There are some points in the article that are literally just tweets, just showing tweets. And I mean, there's not an argument against that, right? That those are fact. That's right there. That's their tweets. But there's a lot of other BS and stuff in there that's just like, why did you put that in there, you know? Like, why did you put that stuff in there? You know, like now that Kitsu's here, like, why did you involve Kitsuniro in this document in the first place? I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand it. I really still don't understand why Kitsuniro was in this at all. Anyway, apparently Binton had something to say, so let's look. Okay, apparently not online. Apparently not online. Like, guys, I'm not trying to, like, fight with these people about stuff, but, like, I feel like now I have to sit here and, like, basically, like, call out the false narrative, you know what I mean? Because, like, this should have never been a thing in the first place, right? Should have never been in the first place. Yeah, that's what. Well, no, he actually just made that post, but there's a narrative that's being built, that's being pushed, that's just entirely untrue. Again, just because I skip one link and one video from a source that I find that is not trustworthy does not invalidate my entire coverage. Kitsuniro is oblivious to the. I mean, but still, like, I mean, that's fine. But why was she pulled into the document? You know what I mean? Like, I get that point. But why were they pulled into the document? Having knowledge on the person, maybe a little bit. I mean, yeah, a little bit. I think that's a fair point. I mean, I'll be real. Like, I had to dig into this a lot. I had to dig in a lot to, you know, Kirsch because of this, right? And maybe that's because of just my own personal questions last night. or from this morning I was looking. So I mean, but if that's the case, Ego, why would everybody that commented on the situation not be pulled into it? You know what I mean? Yeah, it feels like a throwaway sentence. So like, I mean, she's right here, don't you? Like talk to her. Why are you talking to me? Like, talk to her. Like, she's right there. Oh my gosh. So, I will let you. No, I'm not. Okay, fair enough. So, I will let you guys. I will open this up for questions now. I want to hear out what you guys have to say. I can't speak for Kitsu, guys. I can't. You know what I mean? I can't speak for Kitsu. I truly believe that was the weird throwaway line involving her. I don't know why they did that. It doesn't really like add to the argument, like that's it. I can't believe it was our shared hallucination, yeah, I would definitely take your questions or anything else that you would like for me to clear up for you. But again, I'm all about improving, chat. I'm definitely down for that, and I think that Binted's right. I should have looked at that clip. They're right about it. But what I won't stand for, chat, is a false narrative or telling me that I believe in something that I never said or I believe in. I will stand up against that every single time, and I will point that out, and I will call you out if you push that narrative when it's entirely untrue. Look, I know I'm soft sometimes. I know I am, but I won't stand for that. I will not stand for that. I think the reminder would have sufficed. Not what you're bringing on one tiny mistake. Well, then that's what it became. That's what it became, right? But, yeah, I will not stand for that type of stuff. I won't. I will not. It's one thing if I really, really fuck up and like, I do something horrible. Well, yeah, then I would deserve to get canceled for that, right? But saying that I sympathize with Kirsch and believe all these things that she believes, that's just untrue. It's untrue. And I will not stand for that fact for you to spout that on social media. I won't. So I've made it clear. I've said what I needed to say, chat. I am here to take your questions if you got them. And I think, chat, going into the future, I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work to do when it comes to these more political topics, because I'm going to have to dive into this. And I feel like there's a lot of, besides moral obligation, there's just a lot of knowledge you need to have, right? And I'm going to have to really buckle down and do a lot of research to get into these topics a little bit stronger. You know what I mean? All right, Demon Bet. Yeah. I just got home when I missed. Oh, we were talking about the situation. You made mistakes, take one wrong step, and fall, but you get back up. Exactly. That's what my dad said. Like, yeah, if something happens, you gotta pick yourself, back up. But yeah, it is. It's a bit of a wild leap. It really is a bit of a wild leap. But the issue is, chat, the bigger you become, the more problematic it is when you fuck up, no matter how small. Your coverage was sufficient examined evidence. The conclusion was one piece of evidence. Bypass, yes, with that piece. I've changed the conclusion. I don't believe so. Right, exactly. Like, my criticism was of the article itself, right? And now that I've got into all the Kier stuff a little bit more, I've shared with you what I think about her. So, but that's my opinion. And you, do what you're going to do with your opinion, right? You're like a lot of lame mountaineer. Don't see them till it's too late. But a piece of change the conclusion. I believe so the article is objectively flawed. With those flaws, I don't think you have anything to apologize for him. I mean, again, I apologize because I didn't give you the best coverage. I couldn't. That hurts me. That hurts my heart. You know what I mean? Honestly, I just want to say thanks for not letting this get completely radicalized. I do think some people get overreacted, but I generally feel like you weren't aware. Most people at this point would have just started saying stuff like, oh yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck that, Festa. Like, no, I have my beliefs, and I have a lot of conviction with my beliefs, and I'm not gonna let anybody else try to change those convictions. I was skeptical because I did see the original stream. And because of that, I think what I think about Kirsch, I completely agree with. You didn't do anything wrong. I appreciate that. And again, guys, only you can form your opinion about other people, right? I can't do that for you. You are a person. You have individual values. Do what you're gonna do. But I will say that I don't allow hate bigotry here. I guess you can just cover what's actually being said in the article. But sure, not worry about the whole history of every person. There's a mark in the article, otherwise it's too much to look up on. Right, exactly. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, Twilight. Like, I do not have, like, some formal, like, political education, you know? Like, I think it's almost impossible task to be like, oh, well, you're gonna talk about an issue. Well, you better know everything about it. Like, guys, that's an unrealistic expectation to have for anybody. You know what I mean? Unrealistic expectation. I was never different back when there was no superstars, no matter what good they'll fuck up one time and people jump on them like lions. I mean, it happens, you know, like, it happens. So, all I can do, guys, is my best and stand by my morals and try to improve, and that's it. Even if you knew everything, nobody can be right and everybody's... Yeah, exactly. Like, every person that disagrees with me, some people agree with it. Because my point still stands, Kirsten notice it. I mean, yeah, guys, let's not argue about this in my chat. I agree with that. I said this yesterday. I don't think Kier saw whatever that thing was, the symbol or whatever. I think I will agree with that. You know, like, I don't think she saw it. Even actual political sites, majors, commentators, and etc. get shit wrong or let their biases draw their views out. Yeah. Yeah, but now it's like an argument. So, like, yeah, we'll stop that here. I want to keep it professional, if possible. I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys having a mature conversation. I appreciate all you guys being here and talking about this. Lydia, how are you? Fellow news tuber, let's go! Oh my goodness. There's things you may want to learn, honestly, why people police so much about what you're doing, so on and so forth. Yeah, it's a thing. Thank you so much for Raid World or Raid Video! Thank you guys so much for the raid. I appreciate all of you. Welcome to the stream. My name is Lord Heavy Mud Up, and we got lots of celebrations going on. Holy shit. Oh my god, I got so dizzy. Hold on a second. Oh my god. I don't know what happened. I got super dizzy really quick. Oh. Yes, I love my raid video. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. And welcome, Lydia, too. Well, I'm getting canceled on Twitter, so we're talking about it. So, and you know, it's kind of relative to news tubing in general. So, but all I can say, the takeaway from this chat is just like, I will do my best to do better. I'll do my best to, you know, look at all the links and try to share everything that I possibly can. So, oh my god, Lydia's like my breastie. I love Lydia. I love Lydia. Welcome into Raiders, usually pretty chaotic. Yeah, very, very serious today. Unfortunately, but I knew that Lydia's crew is very familiar with that. So yeah, I kind of got called out about my coverage of something. So we were just talking about it. People kind of pushing this narrative that's just entirely untrue. I was just addressing it. So maybe the Texas heat is getting to you, Lar. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I got really dizzy. Yeah, my breastie. My breastie. You know, my breastie. How was your stream? Here's making your life for me. Go better because I'm trying to do better. Only human to you ain't perfect, so you're open about it. I think my problem with Twitter in general is like, yeah, I think my problem with Twitter in general is just like, what people end up doing all the time is like, if you do something kind of like wrong, you're never allowed the opportunity to correct it. You're never allowed the time to make it better. You're never allowed that opportunity, you know what I mean? It's just kind of sad, you know. Like I think everybody should get a chance to do better, right? That's what I think. I think everybody should get a chance to do better.
The issue with it is he's become something of a boy who cried wolf. He's become so unreliable that when he finds something
He gets
genuine and
overlooked.
concrete,
Exactly,
he'll get
Chris,
overlooked
exactly.
because of his history. While you
Exactly.
admit to your
Exactly.
mistakes, he
Like,
isn't addressing
don't get
his
me started on
reputation.
all the Nija Sanji stuff that he has said. Like, I agree with that. And it's sad because, you know, in like an alternate timeline, maybe Binted is actually like somebody that has like a very like strong opinion. Oh, thank you, Nid. You know, it's right here. I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry about that. Um, you know, I think that Binted in an alternate timeline, had they not just like destroyed their reputation so much, I feel like people would listen to what they have to say because I'm sure in there, I don't keep up with their stuff. They're muted on my end. I'm sure there's probably some things that they say that might be true. You know? But firm believer in second chances and redemptions. And Twitter's just hateful, yeah. Isn't it crazy that isn't it crazy that now I'm doing news about myself? This is like this is like full circle, bro. Like I'm making news about myself, you know. Yeah, we want to be respectful of everybody's pronouns, chat. So please respect that. Yeah, I mean, Twitter is just Twitter's like the McDonald's you go to that you were expecting a playground and like, you know, chicken nuggets and barbecue sauce. And they don't have a playground, they're all out of chicken nuggets and they only have spicy mustard. You know what I mean? Like you just go there and it's just sad and disappointing. It's just I'm not a fan of Twitter at all. I'm really, really not. I mean, and here's the thing, Kayla, like I appreciate your ideology of, you know, do what I think is best, right? Do what I want to do. I think there is a bit owed to my community, right? And my coverage, right? I want to do the best that I can do. And I want to cover it in a way that is fair. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing to me. I want to do fair coverage. And when I don't live up to that expectation, you know, it kind of hurts my heart. I could have done better. I think you can always do better, right? But, you know, in this situation, I could have done better for y'all. And that hurts me. So I want to do better for y'all. And that's it. I haven't taken Twitter seriously since the pandemic. Just funny watching drama from I can imagine, like, even for me, like, reporting on stuff, you know, like, it's just like, so much of this is avoidable by a DM. Like, had Vinted or Naira just like straight up like DM me, we could have straight up just resolved this. But now we're talking about this false narrative, all this stuff being pushed that didn't have to be there in the first place. I will say this again. Literally just DM me. If you got a problem with me, just DM me. But going straight to Twitter and trying to put it all out there, that ain't the way, guys. We can do better. We can do better. I'll tell you, when I have a problem with somebody, 99.9% of the time I go to their DMs. Bendit is what I call the VG Journal Cures. Most of VG journals have BS articles for years, so people ignore them, sure. I've had far too many instances when people just cause drama for drama's sake or for false narratives, right? And again, I'm not going to stand for that. You know, like, if somebody, like, for instance, like, if somebody slanders somebody, right, and it's wrong, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to stand up to that. That's wrong, you know? Makai, truth alert, just hit me up to accuse me of having a fat ass. Oh my god, what's up, Makari? How are you? I could have literally just entered the stream and start asking questions. Right, exactly. And you know what? I will say this. Had it come to my stream and ask me a question, I would be more than willing to get in a voice call. No problem. Because I think if I remember, Nyara, she actually got into Kitsu's stream and they kind of agreed to disagree. And I'm totally down to do the same thing with Nyara. So if you're listening, like, very much down. We can get a call. We can talk about it, but we were probably, I don't know how you feel after my response and maybe you haven't had time to digest it. And I want to give you that. And maybe you'll never hear it. That's fine too. But, you know, I disagree with, I disagree with the fact that you didn't look into the whole stream and you say, and you think that I feel one way when I don't, when it's very easily proven the other way. You know what I mean? Like, oh, here comes a twin longer. Well, guys, let me tell you, Makari's ass is too fat. It's so juicy and luscious. It almost crushed my face. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Cancel them. Cancel them. How do I see you unrelenting desire to find the truth? I mean, I try. Again, I try to be as fair as possible. And why is everybody canceling Kirshino? Anyone who covers her? I mean, here's the thing. Jellum. I disagree with a lot of the things that Kirsch has said. But I will repeat this one more time. I am not the person to take on that battle. Or to really, go like, get into the ring with my gloves on, right? Because I'm not informed enough when it comes to politics. She's miles smarter than me when it comes to political stuff. You know what I mean? There's no way I could. People hate blue VTubers. I mean, I'll be honest, I think I'm pretty centralist, but I do lean a little left. If you want to know where I politically align, but there are some things to me that are just non-negotiables, right? And I think that I think the trans rights are human rights, and that's a non-negotiable for me, chat. Now, will not change. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Trans rights are human rights, and that's my beliefs, and I stick to those. And I still stick to the fact that I don't want any hate or bigotry in my community, and if you feel otherwise, I will wave goodbye to you. You can do what you want to, but now the one thing that I am wondering that I have yet to find, and maybe this is because of the picture that was retweeted, but why are people calling her, Hirsch, a Nazi? Is that because of the retweeted picture? When I did my research a little bit last night and this morning, I didn't. I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. I saw like stuff about immigration. I saw stuff about rights, things like that, but I did not see anything in regards to that in particular. So was that the retweeted picture? Is that where that's coming from? Can't wait to have my mom try to sue be because I provided medical aid to somebody not related to her. People went after me for being transphobic, helping somebody get in touch with a doctor I got training from because the doctor's teaching was garbage. Half the time the arguments never made sense. Like he helped a trans person, so anti-trans. Look, I know what I'm saying today. People are gonna hate it and be mad at me, and you know what? That's fine. It is what it is. We don't align. Our moral compasses are not the same, and that's okay. I think it's because of retweeted picture. I feel like he truly and honestly did not know what was in that picture. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, it's always the buzzword, like, oh, you're a Nazi, or you're a right-wing grifter, right? But like, I feel that way because let me show you. Apparently she retweeted this picture, right, which has these symbols on it. And then she said, like, this stuff here as well. What's up, Yomi? How are you? Oh my god, Yomi, this is a serious stream. I'm so sorry. What's up, cutie? These symbols up here. Welcome in, readers. Hope you're doing amazing. I'm talking about something very, very serious. Just a very quick warning. Roll the red video. Thank you guys so much to the raid. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We were talking about I'm actually doing news coverage on myself. I reported on some stuff yesterday. Some people are running with a false narrative, so I felt like it was right. Clear up what was going on. So what's up, Fox and Ariam? Thank you so much for the follows. Appreciate all of you. How was your stream, Yomi? They were tweeting Sam Hyde and Matt Walsh is also what's kids pointed to. And again, I don't know much about them, Darth. That's something that I'm gonna have to look into. That's something I have to look into. Let me scroll back up here because I know that Yagi said something. That's the only reason why they're calling her. Okay, you have to share with me that stuff, You have to share with me that stuff. But I I mean, I don't think that she posted this knowing that that was in there. And I think even like one of the things she responded, she was like, "Oh, nice, like boots or whatever." I don't think she even saw that, but was good. A huge hype train to some chill cyberpunk vibes. Back around, but yeah, we're always here for the news and big respect. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, I don't trust Mint, and I already qualified that statement. But if you're coming in here, welcome in. Yesterday I did some news coverage about this piece on Kirsch. Just a TLDR, this piece was pretty not well written. I skipped over a link. Somebody got really mad about it because I skipped that link. They think that I feel some type of way and so support certain stuff. A narrative got spread. That's not true. So here I am on stream clearing it all up and answering questions. So yeah, and I don't. I mean, I muted him. I didn't even block him. I'm just like, bro, just leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like, just do you. I'm sure that he's probably gonna quote retweet me a bunch of times, and you know that's fine, whatever. But I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with somebody on Twitter. Like, if you want to talk, let's do it in DMs. Let me give you a phone call, whatever, right? But I'm not gonna argue with you. Wait, what happened? So again, nutshell, I covered this piece right here about Kirsch. There was a bunch of stuff in here that was not very factual. There were some things that were factual, but there's a lot of stuff that wasn't. Basically, this is a very poorly written article. There were some points in it that were solid, other ones that were not. Because of that, you can pretty much dismiss this whole article because, unfortunately, it was not well written. Give it that criticism. I skipped over one link that was provided by this person who I do not find is trustworthy. They got really upset about it. And so I said, yeah, you know, probably shouldn't have skipped the clip because it was by them. But ultimately, some other people are saying some false narrative, saying that I believe in white supremacy and some other stuff like that, that I'm a right-winger, things like that. And so I wanted to make sure that I spoke up and said I am not, you know, and I want to make sure that you all understand that trans rights are human rights. I very much do not believe in hate and bigotry. Some people said I was a Nazi, and I'm not a Nazi, so I felt like I needed to clear that up. I mean, Lecter, you saw the stuff, you know? Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a catch-all term now. It really is, but I support my friends. I support anybody, however they want to identify as. Do what you feel is true to yourself, so... Yeah, I mean, again, it is. It's just a catch-all, right? But, anyway, chat, what questions do you have for me about all this? I feel like I've, like... Nazi is not a catch-all term. Yagi, people call people Nazis all the time because they disagree with them. It happens all the time on Twitter. Yeah, like, all the time on Twitter. People will just say that. Yeah, people would literally just say that. Like, straight up. I mean, look, my perception of looking through Twitter, people absolutely do that. There's just a long history of very racist, transphobic, of our right-wing hatred. Which, you know, I gotta keep diving into it. I don't know all the specifics, but people always love to jump to conclusions all the time, sure. Yeah, unfortunately, Yagi, people do that all the time. You know, like, it can be misused, but it's not a catch-all term. I mean, people treat it that way, though. I mean, is it actually a catch-all term? No, but people treat it that way. Yeah, let me make sure I redefine that correctly. People treat it that way. Oh, okay, the theory is made by white nationalist neo-Nazis. That's why they say that. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. I get what you're saying now, Yagi, though. I get you. Yeah, I get you. Gotta make sure we add that very important line. People treat it as a catch-all term. Yeah, exactly. Like, so it's used so often, though. It really is like it feels like, unfortunately, it's lost meaning. And more people argue in good faith, we'd be in a better spot. We're not gonna get that on Twitter, though. That's never gonna happen on Twitter, chat. We're literally never gonna have that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, And that's why I don't have arguments on Twitter. And then, like, I find it really funny because people are like, oh, like, you have no backbone. You know, you don't want to fight for anything. And it's like, no, it's just the fact that it's like Twitter is like a turn-based RPG chat. And in the turn-based RPG, people try to come up with the most heinous shit that they can say to each other in this turn-based RPG. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play the game. I really don't want to play the game. People throw in the word, I don't know about that, but the question is why we're still using Twitter. Well, the thing is, Chris, there's a lot happens on Twitter. It's like I'll tell you, if I did not do coverage, I would never be on Twitter. I would literally just turn off my Twitter. I don't even care that I have a large following. I would turn it off. Right, exactly. Like, dude, I just don't have the fucking time to sit there and like argue with you about certain stuff, right? Like, and people will do it, you know, like I'm a full-time streamer, man. I have like so many things to do in my life. Like, genuinely, I don't have time to argue about stuff, but if it's important, bro, let's get on a call. Like, let's get in DMs. Let's talk about it. But like, I'm not gonna do it with you on Twitter. It's not worth my energy. It's not worth your energy as not the person arguing. Twitter's the modern day 4chan. Oh my god. I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. Let's go and look at some of the replies here. Watch. I mean, that's not nice. You shouldn't say that. The follower Lara going from genuinely helpful at times to this is so unfortunate. Damn, got me. GG's, guys. Her follow-up was something to witness. From genuinely interested TG people, others to another drama seeker. I gave up on her after her interview with somebody who's in plagiarized model, which anyway told her chat trying to push her to act. Wait, what? I gave up on her after her interview with someone using a plagiarized model. That has to be probably Small Lola. I actually told her chat trying to push her to act. Bro, that's... that didn't even happen. We took questions. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh my god. Is it just irresponsible for somebody with as big a platform as Larry has? Then accuse his defenders to give over any kind of objective criticism and just a bunch of meat writers who suck all the
people running to Twitter for 10 seconds of fame.
I find it funny that I find it funny that they think that I sided with Kirsch. Ugly ass voice changer cousin. It sound bitch. Weren't you just in my chat a minute ago? Thank you for the 2020 argument. Appreciate you. It's a Lara. Are we surprised? I don't know. Are we? So many VTubers are Nazis. It's what. I genuinely cannot believe that people looked at this and said, oh my god. What are you talking about, dude? Ugly ass voice changer. Bro, okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Genuine question. Right, exactly, yeah. Why are we still stuck on this 2020 belief? Bro, I am not... Well, when did I stop using one mods? Do you think that I could do this? Without it fucking up the audio? If I was using a changer? You can't do that. You literally cannot do that. Like... What are you even saying? What the fuck? No, it's my ass. I'm clapping my ass. But I've not used a changer since like... It's... Oh yeah, it's a recording. Like... It's been so long. yeah, like almost like 2.5 years ago. What is this 2020 argument, bro? You literally, guys, you literally cannot make actual sounds like that with the changer. You literally cannot do that. Honestly, I thought your voice was like a Boston smoker back your chick. Yo, thank you. I'm really sorry. I just can't keep looking at this crap. It's actually losing brain cells, sure. I mean, I just wanted to look at it for a second. I mean, again, guys, don't go bother any of these people, you know, like, yeah, like, oh, you do not want to hear me pitched up with the actual voice changer. It's so bad. It is so bad. But dude, like, I haven't used one in years. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is just how I sound. Like, what do you want me to do? You're using a voice changer. Well, people just choose to sound like they're exactly like, what the fuck? To be honest, I thought the dough top was not the bakery down low. I mean, I wish I had the dough down low, but I got it up high. Sing an original song. You know, funny enough, in fact, you did use one at one point. Yeah, exactly. I know. Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate it. Dog whistles to each other since everyone don't call them out. I want to say I'm not a Nazi. How come? How can you do coverage on things seem so difficult? Wish you the best. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not an easy place to be in. You know what I mean? There was that one where someone came in and attacked them and they blamed you. Like, brother on the internet, people are just, yeah. I'm totally not posting pics somewhere to show off my massive ding-along. Yeah, guys, remember, I'm a 40-year-old man in a basement. Like, wait. You have a deep voice, people accuse you of being, man, have a high-pitched voice, people who say it's a voice change. Exactly. Like, this happens to me all the time because I have a lower voice. People say this shit to me all the time. They're like, I hate your voice. You have a deep voice. You're using a voice changer. Like, bro, can we just stop? Like, are you serious, guys? Come on. Yeah, like, Ia's been Ia can literally, Ia and I live together. She can tell you. What the fuck? Either way, it's not a problem. Exactly. What's up, Mando? How are you? Blink Toys at the real goth upstairs. We'll let you leave and need help. Like, what is voice? Right, like, why does it even matter? Like, what's crazy, too, is, like, why would you even say something like that when I've even, like, done hand cam streams and stuff? Like, what are you talking about? You've seen my face. Bro. The response to your quote retweet as well, too. Oh, wait, did they respond to it? I imagine a lot of these are, you need to not do politics. You try to remain neutral. Zero research for you. It was incredibly irresponsible. What's crazy too is that I didn't do politics. You know, and I agree. I'm not the politics person, but my focus on this was to talk about the article. So, vintage is somebody trusted. Always take stuff out of context. You need to pander them. Oh, it's my go live post. Okay, let's see. Man, I really hope they would just like move on and that was it. But here we are. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, I don't see anything. So I think we're good, guys. I think we're good. I don't even want to dive into their responses. Like, to me, like, I've addressed it as to what I would have said. Like, it's over, you know? Literally talking about gamer subs in the article. Right, exactly. Like, I feel like almost in a way, like, well, I mean, it is part of the article. It's not separate, so I can't say they are. I don't know. I feel like it's just so poorly written. Like, it'd have been so much easier to come down on somebody if you had written it correctly. So, oh my God, not the Vaporeon! No. Good job addressing a large cheese. Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of y'all just wanting to talk about this and have a discussion, a mature, fruitful discussion. You know, it's not always that Twitter crosses over with Twitter or Twitch and Twitter almost live in separate areas, right, chat? You know what I mean? Like, they're very much separated. So, I think this is one of those times where I'm like, look, This needs to be addressed. We need to talk about it because I'm not gonna let a false narrative be pushed about me. It's just that's unacceptable. Bro, why are we talking about Vaporeon? Even funnier because they only respond to other people. Also make knee-jerk reactions or just people actually have comprehensive points. It's really a waste of time to debate with them. Alara, do you know? Do I know what? Do I know what? Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, the other issue is, oh, you're talking about the life-size plushies. Yeah, I do know those. I do know those. I would move to Blue Sky if I could, but I have to pay attention to, everything going on Twitter because we talk about it, we report on it, right? So, and maybe I don't need to see news. Maybe, news is not the best way to say it. Maybe I just need to say reactionary. That's probably the best way to say it.
Some type of bullshit. Anyway, hi Alara. I'm currently taking a bit of rest time because I had a bad breakdown a couple days ago but wanted to pop in real quick. Hope the rest of stream goes well.
I appreciate it. Of course, Alara, Twitter is its own hellscape. Always understand the situation, plus they're allowed to talk to people on Twitter, sure. I think racism and bigotry in the VTuber community is so not taken seriously. So people were more hostile, thinking you were one of those peeps. I did too, but I wanted to see for myself, right? Well, I appreciate that. And for you having the time of day to even step out and do that, I think it's absolutely, it's incredible. So I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. Because a lot of people won't. A lot of people will think this way forever. I'm sure, one of my posts will blow up and somebody will be like, oh yeah, Alara the Nazi or whatever, right? And unfortunately, the perception sticks with you forever. People just will push that narrative forever. It's not going to stop. And it's unfortunate, but what can I do? What can I do? Twitter has always been a cesspool. I mean, yeah, exactly. I like, they just pointed something out. I literally just addressed that. I know they are. You can message me on Discord. I literally just answered that. Like, yeah, I literally just answered it. Nah, message me over on Discord. Yeah, message me on Discord. Let's get to another echo chamber. I prefer being on Discord. Media has been a cancer. Yeah, it's been tough going through everything. It really has. News has been particularly hard. Lately, chat. Yeah, it's been particularly hard. What's up, Project? How are you? It feels like it's very hard to talk about stuff. It's very hard to address stuff. I would never in a million years advise for anybody to, I would never advise for anybody ever to get into this field of stuff. Like, it's really, at the end of the day, it's not worth it, I mean, Discord feels like, artisanal echo chamber. Let me get contact Yara about this when it comes to politics and it's serious business. The norms are to usually publicly respond to people who are publicly and political commentary themselves first because of how politics affect people's lives. Sure. And Silent Ghost, I mean, I disagree. I don't. My norm is to reach out to somebody and ask for clarification, right? And I think that we saw that they didn't do their due diligence and seeing what was actually going on. You know what I mean? So I mean, I get where you're coming from, but I disagree. I'm not gonna make a post about something unless I know 100%. You know, that's how I feel. Yeah, and I think that's what I'm learning more than anything now, Mando. I think I'm learning more than anything that I just got to do my political research. I gotta get into it a little bit more. I very much shied away from it because I don't like that stuff. But I feel like I need to educate myself a little bit more, get better on stuff, get stronger knowledge in certain regards. There are certain things that I need to do better. So it's an inevitable thing. So any more questions, chat? Any final questions that you have about this before we move on with our lives? Because I really feel like I've said what I had to say. If somebody were to, for instance, like reply to this, I don't think there'll ever be future coverage. I've said what I need to say. I've said my thoughts. I mean, again, I'm wanting to be political, but you just gotta learn when a topic is political. Sure. Did the questions have to be with the last topic? Yes. I'm not expert at everything, but I know a lot about U.S. Social political issues ever since people came in. And you're gonna be confused when I promise this connects to Jama. What is your social security number? 69, 69, 69, 69, 420. Much as politics is shit show. Next way to stay semi-relevant, which I don't ever plan to go into that stuff with my news, but it's more for like a personal thing, right? I pay attention on what affects me the most. That's mostly US stuff. So I went through all of that at the beginning of stream. So I would encourage you to check the start of the stream because like I already closed my links and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely go back at the start. Yeah, I appreciate it. I do think politics is very important. Because it dictates almost everything that happens in our day-to-day life, whether we know it or not. Yeah, I mean, I know the politics tied to a lot of moral obligations, a lot of moral issues as well. So I think it's just something that I have to get into, get more acquainted with it. But I mean, I'm always willing to learn. That's one thing about me, chat. I always want to learn about things. I love learning. I love new things. That's why I love news. I really like talking about new stuff, even if some of it's negative, which we do talk about positive stuff as well. I like learning about Hololive. I like learning about what's going on with Shoujo and, what's going on in our world and how we can learn from that. I love that kind of stuff, right? So, yeah, I appreciate that, Cold. And I hope that's the case. Again, I don't really know what else to say on Twitter. I'll be honest. I felt like I'll just direct people here and talk about it. I feel like if I do another quote retweet or something, people are just they've already made up their minds. Like, you're a Nazi, right? And I don't know what to really do. So I think just addressing it here is the best thing to do. But towards this, some issues both sides are wrong. Certain subjects just pick their stance and counter the other, right? I don't bother with politics. I see way too many idiots in the space. I mean, I think that's fair, right? Pushing false narratives and things like that. I'm getting ready to make the Olympics sprint to the building. Addition to the mod dungeon. No, you can't let them out. Honestly, politics is very important. It only depends how government can help on this country. Keep getting good relationships with other countries, right? I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to keep playing Oblivion off stream. I've had problems with it. It keeps like crashing. And I lost all my save data, so that kind of sucked. Oh, here's the Rivals commentators, chat. Here's the Rivals commentators. So I want to ask you all, what do you think of this overall situation as well? Yeah, what's your thoughts about it? You think I didn't ask you that. I'm so sorry. You feel like it was blown up? You feel like it was like, what's your thoughts about it? It's a nothing burger. I mean, again, I feel like I could looked at the clip. That's fair. That's fair. Always know learning about politics like wading into a cesspit. Yeah. I know the full details of the situation. I need to watch a stream. Yeah, sure. A little bit, Zaythan. I mean, like, again, I feel like the narrative of just not watching one clip on a source that I don't trust doesn't mean that I endorse any particular, like, argument, right? But I think like people need to be fair about this article, right? Like, if there's good things in it, there can also be bad things in it, and vice versa. Like, why does nobody talk about that? You know, why is nobody talking about this? Like that there are good things and there are bad things. It's either you support it or you don't. And I find it to be such a dumb way to treat stuff. Like, just there's nuance in everything, right? Like, you can point out, yeah, there's some things that were, just direct tweets, and then there's stuff in there that's a loose association. So, like, I don't know. That can get you to ship a narrative to use I love Kirsha. Pretty much, as people are hypocritical on to bash you for reporting, for gathering on the info. I mean, again, all this could have been avoided had there just been a DM. And again, I don't have any ill will towards Gara. I really don't. This could have been solved, though, without having to make a big old post about it. Yeah, I kind of was just generic Twitter stuff. Like a large kiss, I don't agree with everything. Just because of fault. Right, it completely. It's one way up, I was mad at you until I saw what actually happened. I'm irritated at the other people that I like to watch for bashing without actual context. What's crazy, Ivan, is I knew today, once I started talking, it will become very apparent and very clear, right? And it sucks that had to happen that way because I know a lot of people reacted the same as you, right? They were mad about it. But then, like, the problem is like most people don't dive into the following, like, part of it. They just take what they see at face value, and that's the issue. I appreciate the news that you do. Help us inform us of YouTubing world in and out. Gotta hear you go through this just for criticism and mistakes. Everybody fumbles now and then, but only there's mistakes to find you right. And I will. I mean, again, I'm just gonna look confused on why people are labeled racist if somebody disagreed the replacement theory. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? I'm not even on the same wavelength as you. What are you talking about? Everybody fumbles now and then. You're a great reporter and take passion in what you do. It's to see you see this as a learning experience. I appreciate that. I mean, it is a learning experience to me. So, I've been seeing some stuff about you over time. Appreciate that you're genuine with your centralist and other beliefs despite whatever disagreements I have with you. I appreciate that, Silent Ghost. And again, I always welcome different opinions. Again, I love to learn and I love different opinions as long as they're not hateful, right? So, if we disagree, I think that we can. My goal is to create a space where we can give each other a high five on the way out. We can disagree, but we can give each other a high five on the way out. It's possible to keep up with every single thing that happens. Yeah, that's it too. I mean, you can, dude. I'm gonna be honest. Here's my thoughts about that. I have a lot of research that I need to do politically before I can even cover that. So, I'll be honest, I don't think that providing those links is going to be worthwhile. Only then to archive it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be able to do anything with it until I can speak out about something. I have to get more educated. Yes, I said that. I have to get more educated about a subject before speaking on it. To say what is plainly, you did your due diligence. You're still mad and stay mad about yourselves, period. Sure. I mean, those links could help. But you're talking about the ones that were in the article, right? I mean, we've already looked at those. Well, what do you mean by that, Yagi? Like, we've already looked at those. Well, what is your point by that? Yeah, you have to see all sides of the argument. You have to. I've already, were you here in yesterday's stream, Yagi? I clicked for Booba, but stayed for... What? You stayed for what? I'll take it, though. I'll take it. But yeah, Yagi, what explanation do you want about the links? I'm talking about some dude's, links. Got you. Okay. Are those in the Discord or where are those? Because I don't know where those are. Like, so was your mom with someone else talking about the kissing right before you went live and they brought up you, and I was like, is this it? This is nothing. I got you. Oh, drama, got you. Okay, I see. I've never even heard of that word. I appreciate it. What's up, Kitty? It's gossip or drama. What's up, Kitty? How are you? Good to have you here. Welcome in. Yeah, we do got the drama going on. Yeah, I haven't seen those, Yagi, but you know, again, you can drop them in the Discord. I'll take a look. Also, I don't know what. Yeah, I was gonna say, I've never even heard that word. I learned something new today. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with drama chat is I feel like there's something to learn. There's a lesson that is that can come out of it, right? So that's the important thing. Look at the drama, learn something from it, move on, right? And that's what we do, especially when we cover stuff. Now, you know, with like plot twist or something like that, Bibly, like, you know, they got taken advantage of, and that is super fucked up. So we're definitely gonna talk about that and highlight it. So we need to protect people. I think the only thing I've seen going around, context. Oh my god. Context is basically I covered something yesterday and didn't click on a link. The person that provided the link was very upset that I did not look at their stuff about it because I don't trust them as a source. And ultimately it was just like, yeah, you know, I should have looked at the link. That's pretty much it. The other thing that I wanted to ask you guys about really quick was what was going on with Enos and the crucifix thing. Have y'all seen that? It's like another like religious thing. So yeah, I just like I saw it going around. I don't know. I gotta look into it, but I'm not getting canceled. I mean, I hope not. I mean, it kind of seems like it right now, but I hope not. The problem with drama is that sometimes people get canceled for very stupid stuff. Sometimes people get canceled because they're actually terrible people. I mean, there's definitely a distinct difference, right? There are people that deserve to be canceled for the horrible things that they do, right? And then there's other people that, you know, I feel like sometimes people deserve second chances, right? Or also it's not that bad, right? It's like a nothing burger, right? So I think there's a balance to be made when it comes to canceling somebody, but sorry, I don't know how to say this without it being like weird, but like my like panties were like riding up my crotch. Anyway, I didn't know what to say. Like, yeah, literally just a reverse wedgie. So I think that there are situations where people can be canceled when they do really horrible stuff. But the problem is people are constantly like going after the wrong people that genuinely either one, don't have like a negative intention, or number two, it's like a learning thing, right? So I feel like overall in the world, we need to have more grace for each other. We need to be, well, I mean, like I was moving all around crazy. So everybody got mad at Enos for the joke. Never watched the last film. Brian. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. I gotta look at that situation more. I'm not ready to talk about it. Yeah, I'm not ready to talk about it. I need to look into it. So, bro, I'm sorry. You were wondering. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I appreciate it. I try to be objective as much as I can. If I fall short, I'll take responsibility. And again, chat, I want to just cap everything off with, you know, I'm sorry. I should have looked at the clip. It's absolutely fair criticism that Vinted brought up in regards to that. Yeah, and I'll take a look at, you know, all the links in it, even if it's for somebody that I'm iffy about. That's not really fair to you guys to try and remove that from the equation. You know what I mean? So I think that I think that that's just I could have done better. You know, and I will. So if it's from a source that I feel like is not good, I think that What's up, Dark? How are you? I feel like I'm going to, moving forward, I'll show it to you. I'll tell you what, hey, like maybe take this with a grain of salt. This is why. And then the following news show, I will, unless I can find the context immediately, I'll try to explain why. But yeah, I think that's it, chat. I think that's it. So I hope I explained myself. I hope everything made sense. Again, if you have any questions or anything, shoot them at me right now. Because I don't really plan on moving forward talking about this anymore.
One of my favorite tubers. You are awesome. Cheers.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, some dude. I mean, that was my thing. I was just skeptical of the clip. And I'm like, yeah, that's not somebody I want to take it from. But I'm sometimes I'm overly cautious and I shouldn't be. That was my worry with that. Didn't mean try, but in my mind. Wait, what? What? And I'm so sorry to give people the give you such a scare, guys. I know that this is very heavy, and I'm sorry to do this to you guys because I really don't like politics. It's not for me, but I'm gonna have to get in there. No, you'll find he's been harassing VTubers and lying about people for the last year. Who are you talking about? Vinted? Yeah, I mean, I try to be very thoughtful. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I mean, I showed you my things that I thought were bad. I mean, if you have some more proof, you can drop it in the Discord. I'll take a look at it. That's just somebody I don't associate with normally, but now that I got drawn into it, I had to address it. Okay, got you, Blake. I mean, if you want to drop that kind of stuff on my Discord, I know I've seen more stuff throughout time, but I just haven't been 100% on it. I really haven't. Politics is ugly, Arian. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, man, I don't like it, but ultimately, chat, I gotta learn, and that's on me. That's on me. I get it. Trust me, I've been in Facebook jail a lot over politics. Bro, just stay away from the politics. Stay away. Oh my God, it's just not worth it. It's really not. The more I get into it, the more it's just like, bro, this is not worth it. It's really, 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 really not worth it, chat. This just fitting into the politics box. It's just funny. I mean, like, it does. It does fit into the box, right? It really, really does. But I mean, we gotta be thoughtful about it. So attentions are always high when it comes to politics, but I feel like that's a lot with the recent presidency and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm not here to have that conversation. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. I have been stressed out all day about this. I need to take some time to relax and take care of myself. And walk my doggo and just I actually decompress from all this. So I'm gonna call it here. I know it's a little early, but again, guys, I think I need to take the rest of the night off and relax a little bit and turn off social media and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna step away at this point, guys, from the situation. So. Again, if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to take them, but I don't think there's going to be any follow-up from me. If anybody has questions about an ass, you can probably point them to the stream, but I'll do my best keep taking accountability and improve for you guys, and I appreciate all of you. So, yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of time, but I will see you all in the morning, and it's been a really long time, so we're going to do viewer meme review, baby! Viewer meme review! I'm very excited. So I will see you all tomorrow in the morning for that. And then also we're going to be doing a repo collab. And then this weekend is our whole big giant tournament for Marvel Rivals. So yeah, I need to decompress. I know my limits. So well, guys, have a great time with Pocket. What do we say to Pocket? What do we say to Pocket? Shit. Okay, I don't have anything. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. Just say heavy metal rain, okay? Good night, y'all.